In my opinion, the key to good sequels is planning. And when I say planning, I mean planning sequel number 2 and 3 before the first installment is even released. J.K. Rowling had outlined all 7 Harry Potter books before the first one was even published. And the same is true for the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and the same is true for the original Star Wars trilogy. And why I think this is good is that it lends itself to better creativity and it reduces panic, right? The panic of, oh, your piece went out into the world and it's a huge hit, and now you have a studio or publisher pressuring you for a second installment as soon as possible, and they're willing to give you a big bucket of cash for it. And you want that big bucket of cash. So you try and scramble around desperately, trying to figure out where these characters would go, what they would do, and it's panicked, it's frantic, there's pressure, there's deadline, and I don't believe it's very conducive to good creative work, right? I think what makes great sequels is when you can explore where the story is going to go. You can get to know your characters a bit more. You can experiment with different plot lines, and you can do this when there is time, when you don't have a deadline to hit. You can do this when no one knows about the project, when the first installment isn't even published yet, right? There's no time pressure then, right? And in that sense, you can perfect, you can tailor, you can make installment 1 relevant to installment 5. You can make something in installment 2 relate to installment 6. You can make all the sequels point to a final destination rather than having this meandering series of storylines and plots that seem to go nowhere and have no ending, right? Take, for example, the alternative, right? Fast and Furious. The main character, Dom, played by Vin Diesel, is always banging on about family, right? Family is the most important thing to him. But it's only episode 9 when we find out that he has a brother, right? And for me, this felt far fetched. This felt like the creators were grasping at straws, scraping the bottom of the barrel, didn't know where else to go, and so they chose this kind of farcical way to introduce a new character and a new storyline. And so that's my 2 cents on it. I hope you found it helpful, and if you didn't find it helpful, I hope you found it interesting, and I hope this helps with your creativity. Thanks, Anton.